What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fry School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I have this little chart in quote on your screen because it is juxtaposing Hellblade versus Hellblade 2's review scores. Now, this is something that, occurred a while ago. This has been over 4 days or so. You know how the internet is. Everyone's probably already forgotten about it. And then when something else occurs, there are going to be conversations about it. So let me give you guys a little bit of context. Remember, there's been this, accusation that the media and the press has what's called a bias against Xbox. They call it Xbox tax. Now, this has been something that many have been talking about, including Destin Laguerre of IGN, who is a journalist and an independent YouTuber as well. And for the most part, many have kind of denied it because in some sense, some people are objective when they give their opinions about Xbox. However, we've seen a lack of objectivity in many instances. Now, this chart is more than likely something that, if we actually zoomed in, I don't necessarily think you can really make too much sense of it. However, there are specific instances that this chart somewhat highlights, and when you add it to other things or other scenarios that we've seen in the past, you realize that basically Xbox can't do anything right. But this is a very interesting way to kind of coalesce all the data. So Boomstick Gaming here on May 21st posted this stuff and said, apparently, the Xbox tax is very prevalent in today's media. And that's just a generalization. I believe that there is actually a bias against Xbox and favoritism towards PlayStation. And Steam has, in my opinion, the highest favorability in every regard. It's weird. Steam can almost do nothing wrong. So I understand the biases in that regard. But, when you look at Xbox and you look at PlayStation, you could tell that there's an apparent bias against Xbox. But this one that was actually put up here was very interesting. The reason I say it's very interesting is because it's actually written by the same journalist who played the first Hellblade in 2017 and played the second Hellblade game in 2024. So it's either Hellblade 2 is a worse game than Hellblade 1, and I'm talking worse to the point of it dropped 20 points in its review score, or this person is not happy that this game is now an Xbox exclusive. Now, let's go ahead and look at what was highlighted in these two reviews so that we can see if for real some of these media folk have a bias against Xbox. So, highlighted under here, the person who put this post basically highlighted this part and said something along the lines of where this person put in their review. It seems as if Hellblade is slated to be a series as well as a staple on Xbox first-party lineup. They highlighted that line. But let's read their 2017 Hellblade review, which said, Hellblade's most notable achievement is the handling of an incredibly sensitive subject matter within an engaging, well-crafted action-adventure game. At its heart, the story is about Senua's struggle to come to terms with her illness. In the process, she learns to find the strength within herself to endure and make a peace with her past. And in a profound and physical way, we go through the same struggles with her and come away with a better understanding of a piece of something that many people in the world struggle with. This second review said, based on its new naming convention, the use of Saga in Hellblade 2's title, and Microsoft's acquisition of developer Ninja Theory following the success of Senua's Sacrifice, and then that's how this review basically kicks off. It seems to me that there has to be somewhere that the acquisition of your gaming studio should affect the reviews that people write. But I can guarantee you that if we actually looked at games that were actually made after Sony had acquired some studios, we're probably not going to see this. And then they said this. That said, at this point, I don't exactly understand where the series is headed, if not to the box office. There are plenty of games that prove games can be art, but as some studios lean harder into proving that in one specific way that cribs from Hollywood, we're seeing some games that feel afraid of being games with too much focus on cinematics and too little on creating an experience that is engaging. Senua Saga fails to reach blah, 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 blah. Now, if anybody is sensible, they can look and say, but where is the criticism of, say, the content and the theme of Hellblade 2 as this person gave the critique or the accolades of the content and theme of the first game? It's absent. So this is a clear bias. And this is what we think when we think about games journalism. Shame on you, games journalists, for not necessarily being sensible. Then there are other ones. This is from Hobby Consolas. This is basically another one that basically shows this kind of interesting change when the game moved and shifted hands from PlayStation to Xbox. So I think, and I will say this with as much caution as possible, there seems to be a little bit of pain that exists right now in the gaming scene since the acquisition of Activision, and a lot of people are not necessarily fans of that. So what they've decided to do is they've decided to use the opportunities and the platform that they have to go ahead and pretty much lambast any video game that they don't see fit to get a fair outlook. This is bad. It's terrible that I'm a PC player. These games journalists are so bad at their job. They're so biased that they make me find myself in a position where I would be sounding like I'm defending Xbox, simply because they're just being straight up unfair in the way that they look at things. Now, I know it's a big corporation, PlayStation, Xbox, they're big corporation, or they have big parent corporations. But guys and girls, I'm a game developer. I'm an independent game developer in my mind, anyways. I'm working on my own video game and such. And what if somebody has a problem with me one day and they go ahead and they start, basically reviewing my game in a way that's not fair because they probably have a problem with something that maybe I am, or maybe I said, or maybe I did, or maybe, I acquire a game studio and they're not happy about it, right? And then they look at my game and then they judge my game because of that action that they're not necessarily fans of. I would hope that somebody would come to my defense, or at least point out how that is an unfair practice. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.